Okay, we have here new Keldheim Commander deck, Elven Empire. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and see what we got inside. Learn how to play. Ourselves a little deck box here. Their commander on there. Got her life spiral. Green. And then we got our foily commander, Lathril, Blade of the Elves. 2/3 for 4 with menace. 1 Wrathful Blade of the Elves deals combat damage to player. Create that many 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Tap 10 untapped elves you control. Each opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and then organize it into like colors and by converted mana costs and go through that in kind of an organized manner. That way if you gotta fast forward, there's different parts to see kind of slightly organized. Oh, I almost forgot to record the opening of this. Get that little ASMR moment. Alright, that's enough of that. We'll be right back. Okay, so I got them separated into different piles. One thing I just noted going through it is I thought we were supposed to get a Golgari signet, and I didn't find one. Maybe it's hidden in here. Overlooked it. Another thing to note is that these are the green creatures. This is your amount of black creatures. And these are your black and green creatures. As you can tell, it's pretty predominantly green creatures. And then the non-creature spells I have separated in color as well. But they're about the same size. Those are kind of balanced out. So I'll start here. First I'll just go through the black creatures. I have Mira Thorn and the Glade. These are all just lowest CMC to highest CMC. A legendary elf creature for 2. It's a 1/2. 1 Mira Thorn in the Glade or another elf you control dies. You may pay 1 and 1 life if you do draw a card and it has partner. What is that? Elven Scarblade for 3. It's a 1/1. Tap it, discard an elf card. Target creature gets XX until end of turn, where X is the number of elves you control. Elderfang Ritualist. When Elderfang Ritualist dies, return another target elf card from your graveyard to your hand. For 3, it's a 3/1. Scamfar Shadow Sage. For 4, it's a 2/5. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have creature type in common. You gain X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have creature type in common. So you can either ding your opponent or give yourself some health. Eye Blight Colors. When it dies, create 3 1/1 green elf creature tokens, then 3 mill cards, and for 5 it's a 3/3. Ruthless Winnower. For 5, this is a 4/4 at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That's each player's upkeep. That player sacrifices a non-elf creature. This could probably get annoying to your opponents. And then here are the black non-creature. So I just mixed all the different types of ones in here. Once again, from the lowest CMC to the highest. This is a tribal enchantment elf for 2. Whenever another non-token elf is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you create a 1/1 green elf creature token. Get those elves out there to get tapped. Poison the Cup. Destroy target creature if the spell was foretold. Scry 2. And then the foretell does cost more, so you have to foretell it for 2, and then you have to pay 1 in the black to on a later turn to cast it from foretell. Pack of the Serpent for 3 is sorcery. Choose a creature type, target player draws X card, and you lose X life, where X is the number of creatures they control of the chosen type. This one is, it's not black card, but it uses black mana. Serpent Souljar. Artifact, when an elf you control dies, exile it. Tap, pay 2 life until end of turn. You may cast a creature spell from among cards exiled with Serpent Souljar. Eye Blight Massacre for 4, sorcery. Non-elf creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. For 4, elves you control get +2/+0 enchantment. Ambition's Cost for 4, sorcery. You draw 3 cards and you lose 3 life. Return Upon the Tide, sorcery for 5. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's an elf. Create 2 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Oh, if it's an elf. And then you can foretell this one, and it does cost more than that to foretell it. But Tergrid Shadow for 5 instant. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. You can foretell this as well. I'm going to show the tokens here quick. So on one side, all tokens are just Elf Warrior 1/1. All 10 of them. Then on the other side, they have 6 Elemental 7/7s and 4 Servo 1/1s. Stick around until the end of the video. I'll show you how to use this card here to make your deck box that they give you with it a little better, a little more secure for actually carrying your stuff around. So I'm gonna cut it here and bring back in the green cards. Alright, next up we got that big block of green creatures. Like I said, this is the vast majority of the deck. This is probably half of your non-land cards right here. And there's a lot of 3-drop and 4-drop in here. There are no 2-drops. Only a couple 1-drops. So once again, I'm just going to go from lowest to highest CMC, and besides that, order is just random. Jaspera Sentinel for 1, you get a 1/2 with reach. Tap it, untap a creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. Pretty good there. Elvish Mystic. Tap it, add green. It's basically just a Land of War Elf with a different name. But it gives you the room to add a Land of War Elf. They do not have one in here. They have a different type of one. Elvish Archdruid for 3, it's a 2/2. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Tap it, And then add green for each elf you control. Pretty good. 3-drop right there. Another one here. When another elf enters the battlefield under control, put a +1/+1 counter on Marwyn, the Nurturer. Tap it at a green equal to Marwyn's power. It does kind of start out a little backwards where she's only at 1/1 for 3. So it takes you a couple to get her back up to her value of 3/3. Impervious Perfect. For 3, it's a 2/2. Other elves you control get +1/+1. Green and tap. Create one green elf warrior creature token. Rise the Exiled. Legendary creature elf warrior. Whenever Rise the Exiled attacks, you gain 1 life for each elf you control. And for black, sacrifice elf and regenerate Rise the Exiled. Was another 3-drop creature elf scout here. When Wood Elves enters the battlefield, search your library for a forest card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. It's only a 1/1. Timberwatch Elf for 3. It's a 1/2. Tap it. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of elves on the battlefield. Numa Joragian Chieftain, legendary creature with partner. It's for 3. It's a 2/2. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, you may pay X. When you do, distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target elves. Reclamation Sage for 3. It's a 2/1. When Reclamation Sage enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. Spring Bloom Druid for 3. It's a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tab, then shuffle your library. Elvish Rejuvenator. Once again for 3, it's a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, and you only get a 1/1. For 3, another 1/1. When a Fairhaven Elf enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tab, then shuffle your library. And for 3, we get a Star. Jagiscar Archer's powers and toughness are equal to the number of elves you control. Tap Jagiscar deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying. And this is one of my favorite cards here, Llanowar Tribe. It's just 3 Llanowars all put together on 1. It's for 3 green. It's a 3/3, and then you tap it and get 3 green back. Lysian Ellen a Huntmaster for 4. We're into the 4s. As you can see, there's a lot of 3/3s. There's going to be quite a bit of 4/4s too here, and a couple more at the end. For 3/3, for 4, you get a 3/3. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Nullmage Shepherd for 4, it's a 2/4. Tap 4 untapped creatures you control, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Another for 4. This is a 2/2 with Trample. When Sylvan Messenger enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all elf cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library. Voice of the Many for 4 is a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you. Wirewood Channeler for 4, it's a 2/2. Tap add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of elves on the battlefield. Canopy Tactician for 4, it's a 3/3. Other elves get +1/+1. You can tap it and add 3 green mana. That's just another level of Llanowar Tribes going next level. Pretty sweet. Good old Beast Whisperer. Yeah, he happened to be an elf. 4 for 2/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Masked Admirers, 4 for 3/2. When there's a battlefield, draw a card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay 2 green. If you do, return Masked Admirers from your graveyard to your hand. Dwynnen, Gilt Leaf Dayan. For 4, 3/4, Reach. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. Cultivator of Blades. We're moving up to the 5s. This is just a 1/1 for 5. It has Fabricate, so you can put 2 1/1 counters on it, or you can trade 2 1/1 color as servo artifact creature tokens. Whenever it attacks, you may have other attacking creatures get +X until end of turn, where X is Cultivator of Blade's power. So I would probably just put those +1 counters on them then. Tab 5, untapped elves you control. Create a 7/7 green elemental creature token with trample. Voice of the Woods, it's a 5-drop for 2, and it's a 2/2 body. There's where that 7/7 elemental tokens came into play. I was wondering where those come from. And then we got Wolverine Riders for 6. It's a 4/4 body. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 elf green creature token. Whenever an elf enters the battlefield under control, you gain life equal to its toughness. And your game winner for 8. And Raise Forerunners, not an elf. I think this might be the only non-elf creature in the deck. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2, gain Vigilance and Trample until end of turn. Boom. That's your all-in. I'm attacking, I'm winning. Or at least I'm eliminating some people right now. Card right there. It's only like 50 cents or something. Probably even lower now, since it's in here. Good card. Alright, now here are your green non-creature. Once again, lowest CMC to highest. I got a sorcery for 2 here. Root of Wisdom. Mill 3 cards and return a land card or elf card from your graveyard to your hand. If you can't draw a card, that works. Harvest Season 3 for sorcery. Search your library for X basic land cards, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control, and put those cards on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Probably want to do that after you tap what's her name for 10. Tap on 10 untapped elf creature tokens. Get that off. Play this somehow, and then boom, you got 10 more land cards out there. Bounty of Skefmar. 3. Sorcery, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tap, an elf card from among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I feel like elf is kind of being a theme here. Got a tribal elf sorcery for 4. Elvish Promenade. Create a 1/1 green elf creature token for each elf you control. Double up your number of creatures right there. Tap them and use your commander to do some damage. Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each elf you control, and it has reach. It's a 4 enchantment aura, and then for 3, return it from the graveyard to your hand. Elven Ambush for 4. Create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token for each elf you control. Oh wow. You could double and quadruple if you could play those 2 on the same one. These 2 here. Ready to just play this for, what's it, 4/8. You're gonna have a ton of mana with these elves. Tribal sorcery, create that. Go ahead. Swing in. They're like, oh, I can survive. And then play this. Boom, double up your creatures again. And play her and tap them all and kill them, everybody. There we go. Good deal. Alright, now let's grab the ones that are both black and green. Okay, so these are the creatures, and then, well, I just have the whole pack of everybody that's black and green here. The non-creatures who are in the back. I'll go through these creatures. So any of these that are legendary can also be a substitute commander if for some reason you don't want to get rid of the group, which is clearly the best commander. No Lathril, but if you want to change something up. This could be an alternate commander as well. For 3, it's a 3/2 Herald, King of Skemfar. Legendary creature elf warrior with menace. When he enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an elf warrior or Tyver card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This might be a pretty good one too if you want to substitute it out though. So as an alternate commander, or just in the deck, Abomination of Llanowar for 3. It has a star for its body, vigilance, and menace. Abomination of Llanowar power and toughness are each equal to the number of elves you control plus the number of elves in your graveyard. That's probably your most powerful alternate commander. Here's just a regular creature for 3/3/2. When Shaman of the Pack enters the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to the number of elves you control. You can have a lot of elves in this deck. Poison Tip Archer. For 4, it's a 2/3 with reach and death touch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Twin Blade Assassin. For 5, a 5/4. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, draw a card. And now we got a 4. I must have messed that up. 3/4 for 4. Golgari Vine Broker enters the battlefield. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, any permanent, so you can get a land if you really wanted. And now we're switching over to the non-creatures here. So this is a instant for 3. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. And we got ourselves a Saga for 4. Destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls. And then for 2 on the second one, search your library for a force card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. And the third, creatures you control gain death touch until end of turn. Moldarine Reclamation. Enchantment for 5. Whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life and draw a card. And then here's probably your most powerful sorcery. Could be a game changer. For a total of 6, choose 1 or more sorcery. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment, destroy target land, and destroy target planeswalker. Casualties of War. Here are the only 2 non-colored cards here that you don't have to. They also don't have a color in their cost. So your good old Arcane Signet for 2. Tap 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. And a good old Soul Ring that they have in every single deck for 1. You can tap it and add 2 colorless mana. They didn't, here's the lands, I'll go through them. They did not include the Golgari Signet. Not in my deck. That is supposed to be in these. Unless this one didn't get it and the other one did. So Command Tower. Best land you could ever have. Right there. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Doesn't come in tapped. Nothing. It's like 20 cents or something. It's just bulk. Still, it's the greatest land period ever. You're playing Commander. Better than everything else. And then here they said they weren't doing the guild gates, but we got your tapped land, Fall Orchard land, comes in tapped. Get a green and basically the exact same thing. Golgari Guild Gate, which they said they weren't doing guild gates, they were putting in signets, but here's the guild gate, no signet. Tap it for black or green. These are basically just duplicates of each other with different names so you can use them. And here's our same. Oh, this is different. This is the one where you have to return. So this one is where you enter the battlefield tapped and then you return a land you control to your hand. Then you can tap it for 2 mana. Always make sure you tap your land before you return it with these. That's a good one. I can't complain about that. But then this is just a copy of those first 2. And this, oh, they didn't put 2 of them. They were normally giving you 2 of these. So this one, the only difference is you gain a life. Then you can tap it for black or green, but it comes in tapped as the disadvantage. Myriad Landscape enters the battlefield tapped. You can play 2 and sacrifice it. And then search your library for up to 2 basic lands cards that share a land type. Put them on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. So you have to get 2 swamps or you have to get 2 forests if you do go get that. Ain't the worst. Ain't the best. Path of Ancestry. Enter the battlefield tapped. Once again, everything entering tap. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with it, your commander. Scry 1. And then we just got the basics. 9, 12, 15 black. Looks like, I think, 15 green. And then at the bottom of it, they had this one here. Skemfer Elderhall. It's a land. It enters battlefield tapped. You can tap it for a green. And then you can pay 2 black, black, green, and tap it. And up to 1 target creature you don't control gets -2, -2 until end of turn. And you can create 2 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. I don't know, this seems like this one pretty much sucks. Because you're basically paying 2, 5, 6, 7 total mana. You can't do it at any point. So that last sentence ruins the flash ability of it to kind of throw out some extra guardians. I don't know if I would keep this in here or get rid of this. Might be better just to put in a basic forest. But that is it. That is the last one for our commander here. Lathro Blade of the Elves, and our deck. What's it called? Elven Empire. Elven Empire. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to take this useless card that should teach you how to do things that you already know how to do. And I'm going to show you how to fortify this little box here with it. It's going to involve scissors. So you might want to have an adult, or being an adult, or don't cut yourself. Don't be a dumbass. Be right back. I'm going to grab those scissors and I'll show you. Alright, welcome back. So I'm going to show you how to use this here to fortify your deck box a little bit. You won't be able to fold it back up when you're done doing this, but it'll be, the bottom of it will be a lot more secure, and you'll feel better about storing your deck in here versus just storing it in there. Obviously it's not going to be as good as getting some sort of a premium deck, but if you can see, look at the bottom of this one, you look at the bottom of the new one. I've cut this card. I'll show you where I cut it. But if you look at the bottoms, then you can see I did add another piece of tape just to fortify the outside. But this is, you push down in there, and it's not flat. You can clearly see the difference in the two. And if you look at the bottom of this one, look at all that stuff that can catch on your cards. I don't know, I just don't want it. I'm not going to use this. But with this, I will use it. I have been using it, and it's a lot. I mean, just the structure-wise benefits. Just it doesn't malform back to it because it did come folded and wants to go back to where it was, so it prevents it from doing that. Adds rigidity and just overall makes it a much more stable. So the first part is pretty easy. You notice in the bottom here, you got to cut it. Don't even have to measure. So if you'll notice on here, if you flip it over where it says learn more at the bottom, all you have to do is cut a perfect nice little line right through the middle of that text under the learn more, and you'll end up with the exact right measurement, the length of the card that you need. So just have a nice good scissors there, cut it right through the middle of that text, try to get it pretty straight. And then you have something, as you can see here, it's pretty much exactly the size of the bottom of that. Now, however, learning from putting this in here, it doesn't fit exactly because the corners are not going to match. So you just want to go ahead and just take a little trim off of each of the corners, as you might be able to see that I have done in there. And just take a little trim. this. You get fancy like me and try to do 2 cuts, trim it down a little bit more. You can just do 1 cut if you want. So you see there, I just did 2 kind of cuts. Give a little bit of a rounded edge. I mean, if you want, you can just go like this. Cut it off. Either way. And then it just slides right down in there. Stabilizes the bottom and makes them a lot smoother bottom for you to put all your cards in there. Flattens the bottom out here. You can put a little piece of tape like I did before. The other thing is here, pop it out. Because again, it is in there just loose. Kind of hard to get out. The other one I had made was falling out. This one's wanting to stay in there a little bit better. I'm just going to trim this corner here where I did the single cut. Now once you have this piece here and it fits in there, test it, make sure it is the right size. All you have to do is just take a piece of tape like this, turn it into a double-sided piece of tape by folding it over onto itself and making a little loop. Not too hard to do. Then just take it right there, stick it on there, flatten it out, and you got yourself a nice little double-sided piece of tape. Drop it back down in there. Push it down into the bottom. And then that little piece of tape will just hold it in there. Another level of security. And then I do like to take a little piece of tape, just because the bottom wants to do what it wants to do. I just put that across there. And that just holds all these little different components all together in one. Makes them act as one versus trying to slide back in on themselves and refold up. Will be a little off as you use it. And once you load up cards, it will straighten it out a little. But otherwise, yeah, as you can see here, push on it, push on it. Elven Empire deck is a lot more stable, and you might be able to actually use it to keep your cards in, at least at home. I wouldn't keep in this and travel. They do fit all over into your 1,000 card boxes, I found out. If you just slide them in there, hold it up. If you have any one of those BCDW 1000 boxes, fit right in there. And it might be a nice place to store them, especially they're coming out and you got 4 or 5 of these now, since they started coming out for like 17 bucks a piece. Well, that's that. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your Elven Empire. Have a good day. One last thing. The last time I forgot, I trimmed off one of these edges. So you can see here on the vertical, they just got the black end there. Sort of like a normal card would have. You can barely see it, but you might, there you go. Yeah. So just cut one of those to trim. Otherwise it is just a little bit, it will fit in there without it. What if you just trim that off? Once again, just give yourself a decent corner there on the ends. A little bit more of a rounded end. And as you see here, I was wondering why I was having a little bit more trouble than normal. As you see now, it goes in there just perfectly. Doesn't bulge up at all. Alright, once again, thanks for watching.